So glad you could join us for another Jamaica magazine. I'm your host, Adrian Atkinson. It's Human Rights Day worldwide, and it marks the beginning of a year-long awareness campaign on economic, social, and cultural rights, as well as civil and political rights. Among the social rights being given attention by our government is home ownership.
We are empowering our people as registered landowners, owners of assets with which they can improve their lives.
Also in our show is a word for everyone navigating the traffic environment in the festive season. It's a show you can't afford to miss, so stay with us.
Fever, rash, joint pain and red eyes. All common signs of the Zika virus or ZIKV. Symptoms are usually mild, lasting anywhere from a few days to a week. Jamaica has no Zika cases, but if it gets here, it would only be transmitted by the Aedes aegypti mosquito. Don't give Zika a chance. Prevent the breeding of these pesky mosquitoes.
The use of oil, cooking oil, a little tip of cooking oil poured on the surface of the water, suffocates the larvae and prevents them hatching out. So persons can do that.
Good day, I'm Carrie Ann Smith and this is your GIS News for Thursday, December 10. A three-member task force has been convened to rigorously examine the systems that govern the monitoring, protocols and reporting structures, as well as the placement and removal of children in the child protection sector. Youth Minister Lisa Hanna made the announcement in Parliament Tuesday. Tamara McHale has the details.
Minister Hanna's decision follows a report from the Office of the Children's Advocate, OCA. It addressed the removal of 34 children from the Sunshine Child Care Facility by the Child Development Agency, the CDA. The report outlined a number of breaches that occurred and made recommendations which the minister accepted.
I have asked them to make the necessary recommendations so that our systems and procedures are improved to reinforce the appropriate culture necessary for child protection. The task force is chaired by Mrs. Sharon Lake, former chairman of the Women's Leadership Initiative, and a part of the Xerox corporate management, and herself a foster parent. And I should have this report by the end of February 2016.
While the task force is doing its investigations, Ms. Hanna says the CDA has been instructed to carry out disciplinary actions against its officers involved in the incident. Following up on that instruction, the CDA CEO has convened the required independent disciplinary panel, which includes a retired judge. Hearings are set to start on December 22. The OCA's report has meanwhile been forwarded to the Public Service Commission and the Attorney General for their advice and for any further action that can be taken. While those measures are being pursued, Minister Hanna has also met with and apologized to the manager and the children at the Sunshine Child Care Facility. The minister adds that instructions have been given to immediately complete the review of the facility's license application for the children to be relocated to the facility's new location in time for their Christmas celebration.
Mr. Speaker, in the midst of this unfortunate situation, I want to commend Ms. Vivian Morgan for her devotion to the care of children over 30 years. Mr. Speaker, we need more people like her in our child protection system.
Reporting for GIS News, I'm Tamara McHale.
Government is moving to strengthen the security of Jamaica's borders through the addition of 39 immigration officers at the island's major international airports. 23 will be assigned to Sangster International in Montego Bay and the remainder to the Norman Manley International Airport in Kingston. The immigration officers received extensive training in different areas, including laws governing the Passport Immigration and Citizenship Agency PICA, diplomatic immunity and privileges, as well as trafficking in persons. At Tuesday's graduation ceremony, National Security Minister Peter Bunting urged the new recruits to be vigilant, considering the increase of transnational criminal organizations and threats of terrorism.
This understanding has guided the ministry in our ongoing efforts to develop strategies and build capacity to better prepare for these threats and to effectively confront them.
PICA's Chief Executive Officer Jennifer MacDonald also had a word of advice to the graduates.
Border security and the role of immigration are of utmost importance at this time. As the guardians of the nation's borders, we have to be alert and intuitive to any signs of any perforation in the safety and security of our borders.
Government is to introduce legislation to expand the jurisdiction of justices of the peace. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Justice, Carol Palmer, says the move will make it legal for JPs to carry out their duties beyond the borders of their parish of appointments.
We're also going to be introducing measures to have JPs be JPs of Jamaica and reduce some of these restrictions because you are limited to your parish.
Mrs. Palmer was delivering the keynote address at the installation ceremony for 26 new JPs for St. James last Thursday. The Permanent Secretary said the JPs would benefit from additional training to further equip them to carry out their duties. These would include serving as a justice in the Court of Petty Sessions and attending the children's and the drug courts. Agriculture Minister Derek Kelly is urging farmers to take advantage of export opportunities that exist in the United States and Trinidad and Tobago. Minister Kelly says there is an increased demand for crops such as breadfruit, callaloo, pineapple, strawberries and guineps. They are among the over 50 local crops that have already been given pre-clearance approval from the U.S.
There are opportunities here, and Jamaica needs to take advantage of these provisions which facilitates speedy exports of these non-traditional commodities.
Minister Kelly adds that dasheen, hot pepper and banana are being pursued for export to Trinidad and Tobago. The minister was speaking at an agricultural competitiveness program export marketing seminar recently. And finally, by early next year, more students at the early childhood level will be fed under the Ministry of Education school feeding program. While speaking at a recent education forum, Portfolio Minister Reverend Ronald Thwaites said more rural schools would provide meals for students.
We're feeding 125,000 of the little children with breakfast and lunch. The program is rolling out. It's not quite at 125,000, but it will be by February.
And that's it for GIS News Today. I'm Carrie-Ann Smith. Thanks for watching.
Nutritious food, succulent dishes, superior workmanship, and excellent service. Jamaica is on the go. Let's grow what we eat and eat what we grow. Let's harness the indomitable spirit of our most valued resource, our people. Let's support our local businesses. After all, buying Jamaican means building Jamaica. Original.
All rights or freedom, always, is the theme of Human Rights Day, which is being observed today. The right to home and land ownership, especially among the more vulnerable, has been pursued with urgency by the government as part of its strategic priority of social inclusion and protection. Thousands of keys and titles have been handed over to citizens across the island, but our next feature looks at those in sugar-dependent communities.
Really exciting. You wouldn't know all of me I wait for this. Me pray I'm a fast lose weight for this. All of who make it possible, me thank you for this. You see, when the concert done, we are going to celebrate this.
Renee Lester's excitement matches her Clifton St. Andrew neighbors' reaction to finally getting letters of possession for their properties. The residents of the former sugar workers' barracks have for years craved former land ownership. And now they have it, thanks to government's commitment to the social inclusion of all Jamaicans.
We are empowering our people as registered landowners, owners of assets with which they can improve their lives.
We have moved on a program to regularize Clifton. In doing so, we engage surveyors and planners, urban planners, who we have contracted to do what we call a as-built development. In other words, because the area have substantial housing structure, we have to plan over those and around those structures.
Approximately 300 residents of the St. Catherine community are now proud landowners. Another 200 should get their titles by year end. But it doesn't stop there for Clifton. Like other communities benefiting from government's community regularization and development program, Clifton is being transformed from a squatter settlement to one with major infrastructure. Under the program run by the Sugar Company of Jamaica Holdings, the old estate houses for sugar workers will be upgraded. Amenities including a proper sewage treatment plant and early childhood institution with an aftercare facility are also being built.
We want that despite your origin, despite your background, you are to be living somewhere which is safe and comfortable. The plan will see increase in road and access. It will see access to utilities, light, water, and we now know the importance of internet services to lives in community.
While the residents will obtain the land free of cost, they are being asked to pay for the necessary infrastructure.
Through the various projects being implemented through the Sugar Transformation Unit of the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries, we are able to invest not only in the physical infrastructure of designated communities, but also in the lives of the people who reside in those communities.
Is that it's not just about housing. It's about building a sustainable economy. So we want the commercial activity to be there. We want the training activity to be there. We want to build a holistic community.
My father, my grandmother, my uncle, my cousins have worked all their lives in this sugar industry and lived right around here in this community. During most of the years, they never dreamt that they would own the land they lived and worked on.
Clifton St. Catherine is not the only community being transformed under the Sugar Company of Jamaica Holdings Community Regularization Program. It's also being carried out in Clarendon, Westmoreland, Trelawney, and St. Thomas. The program is targeting 30,000 persons living in more than 80 sugar-dependent communities. The Sugar Company of Jamaica Holdings, building communities like Clifton and transforming people's lives through land ownership. The government of Jamaica putting land ownership in the hands of the disadvantaged.
Nicky baby, come here. You understand, so I have to send you guy your auntie so you can go to school and turn out better than me.
If you or anyone you know has been a victim of human trafficking, call 811 or 1-888-PROTECT. Be wise. Open your eyes. Spot them. Stop them. A message brought to you by the National Task Force Against Trafficking in Persons.
As we continue our observation of Human Rights Day, we couldn't help but to notice that December 10 is also the 91st anniversary of the birth of Jamaica's fourth Prime Minister, the Most Honorable Michael Norman Manley. The late former Prime Minister is remembered as having been one of the many persons who have made a significant mark on the direction and development of post-colonial Jamaica, and one of the few to have done so from the highest office of government. So, in this anniversary of his birth, we reflect on a few of his accomplishments that have helped to advance the cause of universal human rights in Jamaica.
One of our great leaders, political stalwart, distinguished orator, and social reformer. With a deep commitment to economic independence and social justice, Manley began a process of social and economic reform.
A lot of changes have to take place in this country. A lot of changes.
Michael Manley's concern for the family was well known. He heralded the call for equality of the sexes and established the Bureau of Women's Affairs to deal with discrimination against women. December 1, 1974 was historic with the tabling of the Equal Pay Law, which provided that women doing the same jobs as men were entitled to the same pay. The establishment of the family court was another act of great significance. Attendant on this was the Affiliation Act, so that fathers who desert mothers and their children and migrate can be sued for the maintenance of their children. The Equal Status for Children Act repealing the Bastard Act could possibly be seen as the greatest single social achievement of Manley in the 1970s. All children, by law, could now inherit the legacy of their parents.
No bastard, no day again. No bastard, no day again. Everyone laughful. Everyone laughful.
The establishment of a minimum wage was a plus for the working class. It stipulated that every man or woman entering into a contract of service must be paid a minimum wage and should not work for more than the prescribed maximum hours without getting overtime pay.
Realize that employment is the most important single objective of government in this country. Because the unemployed is a man to whom freedom is not even a word, certainly not an idea. At the root of our policy in the future will be humanism, self-reliance, and economic nationalism to create a society of personal freedom founded in the security of the family and a true nation resting securely upon a foundation of economic independence. In short, a society of justice and freedom. I'm going to tell you the thing that is closest to my heart: housing. When a man and his loved one can look at a roof and know that it cannot leak, can know there is a little kitchen where they can cook in dignity, can know there is somewhere they can sit down and break bread together, can know there is a room that they can put the children in, and know that at night the children can go and sleep there in peace. That when you have done that, you have started, you have laid the foundation for Christian life and for justice. In the modern world, the most important of all the tools of mankind is the ability to read and write. Therefore, sir, I'm very pleased to announce that the government of Jamaica, commencing September of this year, is announcing a scheme for free secondary education in Jamaica. We're going further, sir, and that is that for those children that can fight through the primary system, fight through the secondary system, fight through to their O levels, fight through the whole of the competition to reach university at the end, to get the final touch on the skills that we need, we are also abolishing the fees of Jamaican students at university. These are the means by which the power will come to the people. Sacrifice now for a great day tomorrow, where we will march together in the name of work, in the name of justice, because the word is love.
When using an automated banking machine ABM, ensure the machine is in a location you are comfortable with, and when you enter, be sure to close the door. Examine the machine before you insert your debit card, and never enter your card if the machine has a suspicious device attached to it. More important, don't allow strangers to assist you in conducting a transaction. And remember, treat your debit card like cash. Keep it in a safe place.
At this time of year, many persons are usually busy attending Christmas parties and other social events, and sometimes, if not most times, ensuring personal safety is overlooked. Part of personal safety, operating with care and caution in the traffic environment. How about a designated driver for that next event where you plan to partake of the cocktails? We've got more tips to be a safe road user. Keep watching.
Car came like out of hell and just came right on the sidewalk, knocked me down.
I hear this boom boom, loud sound, and I turned around to see what happened. I didn't know it was me who got the hit from the vehicle that were parked on the sidewalk.
They had to cut out a lot of the intestines.
When they lifted the car and took out my leg, it was smashed, badly smashed from the ankle.
The man was stone drunk.
Two women reliving the trauma that still haunts them. Their stories are similar. Young, carefree girls going along happily, life interrupted by a driver under the influence. Marlene and Eileen are among thousands of Jamaicans who suffer every year because there are still people who drink and drive.
It has been 38 years and I still have pains every day.
From that time until now, I'm still having pains.
Every year, hundreds of Jamaicans like Marlene Walker-Wilson and Eileen Barnes are injured in road crashes caused by drivers under the influence of alcohol. Drivers who may not be drunk, but who have enough alcohol in their system to dull their senses.
As you increase the level of alcohol, it depresses your ability to function. And as far as driving is concerned, the things that we are focusing on mostly, it impairs your judgment. It affects your ability to make decisions, whether you should overtake or not, when you should overtake. It affects your reaction time. If a vehicle is coming at you, it affects your ability to react at a particular time. It affects the time that you take to depress the brake, to stop. And it affects your vision. You can't see as well if your alcohol level is too high.
It's for these reasons that Jamaica and other countries have put limits on how much alcohol a driver should have in his or her system.
We in Jamaica now, along with many other countries, are at 0.08 limits. The European countries have reduced it to 0.05, and I think America is going to follow suit. The reason being is that at zero alcohol levels, your ability to concentrate is 100%. As you increase it by even 0.01, 0.02, every single digit of increase, even at lower levels, increase your risk of being involved in a crash.
So if the legal limit is 0.08, in real terms, how much alcohol are we talking about?
We're talking about one beer, we're talking about a glass of wine, we're talking about one drink of rum. But it depends a lot on your metabolism.
How fast your body uses fuel, how your body deals with alcohol. It also depends on how much food you have in your stomach, how healthy you are, and how tired you are.
There are so many variables, and that's why rather than deal with the technical things, we just say don't drink and drive.
So what about drinking responsibly?
When you drink with your friends at a party and you tell somebody else to drive, so you have a designated driver. That is the essence of responsible drinking. Responsible drinking don't mean that you can drink a small amount and go and drive. It means that if 5 or 6 of you go to a party, one is designated as the driver, and that person does not drink any alcohol whatsoever, and the others can have a good time.
Besides the increased risk of a collision, serious injuries and even death, there are other reasons drivers should avoid drinking. The long arm of the law.
You need to realize that when you put yourself behind a wheel, it's a very dangerous instrument.
After 24 years, I'm still trying to cope with it.
If you have to drink alcohol, don't go behind a steering wheel.
Guys, when I'm ready.
Ready a long time. Let's go. Ready, Mona?
Yeah. Oh, Shelly, I have a file for you for tomorrow, okay?
All right.
I'm going to leave it on your desk.
Sure, go right ahead.
But Shelly, you don't shut down the computer.
But it not gonna do nothing.
But of course, when you leave it on, it burns excess energy.
I said go?
Yes.
Okay.
Did you know that the country foots the bill to import the fuel that produces electricity? Let's all play our part to conserve on energy by ironing once per week, unplugging all appliances when not in use, and avoid keeping the refrigerator open for a long period of time when removing food. Get smart. Don't get left in the dark.
And that's how we close the show for today. We'll be back tomorrow for another installment of your favorite magazine program. For information and updates on this and other JIS productions, you may visit our website, jis.gov.jm. You may also share your thoughts via email, jamaicamagazine@jis.gov.jm, or tweet at JIS News. On behalf of the entire production crew, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Walk good.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.